To the cloud. So guys, good morning. This is the Wednesday morning Wisdom from Peter Wednesday, June 30th, 2021. And we're going to talk about a number of things today, a couple topics for you guys that to help you guys grow your business. Because guys, I want to start off with a very important topic. So we spent the better part of the last 2 weeks creating specific and measurable goals for our next quarter. And guys, we used the sheet right here on your screen to create those goals. We used our own personal metrics, our closing percentage, our package size or transaction size, closing percentage, and hour to demo ratio to figure out the controllable activity that we would need to do to hit our cash flow goals. And then also not only the cash flow it creates this week, but also, we know that here with this particular agent, when she makes $12,000 of cash flow, which would take her $5,714 of premium, 7.1 families, 29 demos, 45.6 hours of effort. But she knows that she also really makes $2,154. That's based on the back end, 40% still coming in, and the 20-year renewal factor being factored in there too. So $1,200 now, $954 later, just knowing what we're working for and the awesomeness that we're creating. So guys, what we want to do is, that's great. We've got goals, and guys, but now it's habits, skills, it's follow through, guys. It's creating our goals. It's taking the ideas out of the ether, right? It's VPF, stands for vision, plan, follow through. So the vision is having the goal in your head. Okay. The plan is getting that goal out of your head and onto paper. That's the plan. That's creating goals. Okay. Now there's the follow through. That's the tracking part. And that's what I want to share with you guys real quickly. So we have, and hopefully you guys created one of these, but this is a real simple goal tracker. This is my goal tracker that I've used all year and we'll use the rest of this year. Hopefully by the end of the year, we're going to have something that can combine the goal setting device and the goal tracking all in one place. But for right now, it's 2 documents. So it is what it is. So last week, guys, so the numbers for last week just recently came out, and I just want to share with you guys. So I took on this report that you can see on your screen here, I know that Davenport agency had 22 submits. Not sure if you guys can see that well. I'll make it a little bit larger. There we go. You can see 22 submits. That's over 11 the same week last year. So that's 100% growth. Year to date, we're at 409 over 252 last year. So we're up 62% in submitting agents year to date. But the number that I want is that 22. So I'm taking that 22 submits. And for me as a team leader, I am putting that right in here. The plan for submitting agents last week was 19. Okay. And we had 22. So I plugged in that 22. And I know that now going into week 2, we're 3 submits above the goal. We are tracking to hit our submit goal. I'm excited about that. The plan for net premium last week was 32,000. That's based on 30% growth over the same week a year ago. And so last week, I know that we wrote $66,056 of gross annualized premium. That's over $27,056 from a year ago, up 144%. So excited again, but that number goes in right here, 66,000. And I'm pretty pleased because I see that we're $34,056 ahead of schedule. That's great. I like running up the score. It feels good to me. We had a goal of 1 new recruit in the field that submitted business, and we had 1. So we are tracking exactly spot on. That's why we had that 0 there. Now, guys, if I also had my Q3 personal up here, if I were in the field the way you guys are, I would have had goals for last week, and I'm going to use this agent here to just illustrate. So I would go down here to my actuals for last week, and I want to plug those in. So this particular agent last week had 37 hours in the field, 20 demonstrations, and $5,878.80 of premium. So if I'm this agent, I'm going to go to my personal VPF and I'm going to plug in the 37 hours. I'm going to plug in the 20 demos. I'm going to plug in the 58.89 premium. And you may also track things like your referrals. You may track things like your field recruits. You can put whatever you want to up here in these other two. These are kind of pick your own, but we definitely want to track hours, demos, and our net premium. So this person now knows, I'll delete that and delete that, that he or she is 8 hours behind the demos, and that 45 and 32 is not necessarily that agent's goals. It's just what I had in there, but 8 demos behind, 12 demos behind, and actually $889 ahead on goals. So that's for right now, based on that person's metrics, they are ahead in results, a little bit behind in effort. You got to kind of be careful on that, because if you stay behind in effort, it's based on your metrics, you probably won't end up above your goal. You want to make sure that you're hitting your controllable goals, your controllable commitments, rather, hours and demos, and you're going to be hitting your premium. So I just want to encourage you guys, you took all that time to set the goals. Okay. Now guys, take 5 minutes every Tuesday or Wednesday when the numbers for last week, the finals, come out, and plug them into your tracking system, whether you use this one or whether you manually track them on a piece of paper, whatever. But you want to track where you are. Okay. Guys, if you have a map and you only look at it at the beginning of the trip and you're trying to get to the other part of the country, if you never look at the map along the way, there's a decent chance you could end up off course. You might be you might be trying to drive to San Diego, and you might instead end up in Seattle. They're both on the West Coast, but they're very far different destinations. So to make sure that you end up at your destination, which is your premium goal at the end of the quarter and your field recruit goal, you want to track it throughout. So hopefully that makes some sense. And if you have any questions about that, you're more than welcome to give me a call on that. But guys, let's be sure that we are not only created, but that we're actually using those goals as well. Okay. One other thing I want to share with you guys is, and I'll bring this up here at the end as well, but guys, this is our new field recruit incentive, and we just finalized it. This is actually taking the place of the back end field recruit goal that we had of $750,000, $1,500. Guys, that incentive may have sounded really, really neat, and it has some big numbers. The challenge is, guys, only 5 people earned it last quarter. And so we want to make sure that everybody is active and everybody is receiving cash from this, because that way it's going to drive recruiting activity. It's going to drive us building our businesses. Now, guys, I do want to challenge you with this. Let's make sure, again, we've said it before, you can't catch a shark fishing in a goldfish bowl or in a koi pond. So let's make sure that we are fishing in the right places. We're looking for solid people. Guys, if you recruit a person that makes 70 or 80 grand a year, it's easier to teach them how to make 100 than it is to take someone that makes 22 grand a year and teach them how to do that. That person is going to take a lot more work, and maybe there's a reason why they're doing what they're currently doing. So let's make sure we're going after people that we would want to be in business with, that we would want to spend full days in the car with, because that's what we're going to need to do when we train the person. Okay. And guys, if you're brand new and you're not ready to train people yet, don't worry. You'll get a bunch of help with that until you are. That's what your that's what your upline is for. That's what your leader, your field trainer is for, is to help out with that. So guys, it does pay to field recruit. When you refer a candidate to watch our career spotlight video and they complete a questionnaire, okay, you get a $50 bonus. Guys, just think about it. If you were to send 2 people a week, just 2 people a week, to get to watch that questionnaire. Now, you might have to send 4 or 5 people to it to get 2 to actually follow through and watch it, but 2 a week, guys, that's $100 a week. That's $1,300 additional dollars in your bank account based on just this incentive. And here's how it works. Refer your candidate to watch the career spotlight video. And it's real simple. All of you guys have this link. If you do not, then get it today. Call your agency owner, call your team leader. It's protectonefamily.com/career spotlight. If you're in the Davenport agency, it is the same, protectonefamily.com/Schneider career spotlight. If you are in the Schneider agency, you want to use the correct URL for the correct agency. They must watch the video and complete the questionnaire when they are done. Make sure that they put your name on the referred by. If they do not mention that you referred them, you will not get credit, because we will not know who sent them. So you must do that. And then the third thing, guys, is you must add the candidate's name and their information to the field recruit tracker on the Google Docs. Okay. So if you do not know what that is, again, ask your agency owner or ask your team leader, but there is a Google document that we have. And on one of these tabs, we track our Indeed, our mass recruits. And on the other one, the first one is field recruits and personal recruits. So you do need to come over here and you need to enter the candidate's name that you spoke to. Ideally, you'd get their email address from them, your name as the field recruiter, any notes that you want to share about them or pre-approach that you can give to us. For example, Casey had a person, Stephanie Durick, that I'm doing did a first phone interview with her yesterday. She watched the Career Spotlight on Monday. I do a final interview with her tomorrow. She said, I've known Stephanie for several years now, and she's had questions about the career when I started, but I don't think she liked the idea of full commission. She reached out through Facebook about one and a half weeks ago with questions. So I scheduled a time to meet with her and her husband, gave her a demo and talk about the opportunity, sent her the Career Spotlight to watch over the weekend. Okay. That is great pre-approach. That lets me know a lot about Stephanie and gives us some talking points. And I know that she had, through talking to Casey about her too, that she worked with her, I believe, at the Y way back in the day. So very cool. We had a very great conversation about that too, guys. Those steps all need to happen. Okay. It's not a lot of stuff. It's not easy. It's not hard. It's just a process and just habits that you need to get into. So if you don't have the habits to field recruit, guys, set an alarm in your phone that goes off at various times during the day that reminds you to field recruit, and set an alarm at the end of the day, 8, 9 o'clock at night, that reminds you to enter in your field recruits information on that sheet. That way you don't have to worry about remembering. Your phone will remind you for you. Okay. So guys, let's be sure that we do that. And again, when a person does watch the Career Spotlight, this is what they will see when they click on that link. It is Protect One Family Career Spotlight. So when they go to that, guys, they'll see a little page with a lighthouse. And guys, if you haven't watched this yet, I would really encourage you to. It's a pretty cool video. If I do say so myself, it's 46 minutes and 56 seconds long. Most of you have watched it because you saw it in the recruiting process. If you've been around a little while and you were recruited before we created this and you haven't watched it, check it out, because this is what your folks are watching. And if you want to have an intelligent conversation about it, you need to have watched it. So some great information, and may help you remember why you got so excited about this in the first place. So guys, when they get done watching it, underneath it, there's one simple button. Okay. There used to be two. We realized the other button was a waste of time. And so there's one. It's called Applicant Questionnaire. Boom. They click on that, and then they need to fill this out: name, first and last, email address, their best contact number, their location. How did you hear about us? That if it's where they put your name. Okay. Or who referred you to watch this video, and put their name there. So sorry. Scale of 1 to 10 interest level. Okay, guys, if they put a 1 and they put 0 in, they don't fill anything out, that's not an application questionnaire. Okay. They need to be someone that has some level of interest in this, or they're at least willing to fill out the questionnaire. Okay. Typically we're looking for people that are 8s and above. Down here, 7s and below, not so much, but they put why. What appeals to you about our opportunity here? Based on what you've done in the past, what gives you confidence you could do well at this? What are some characteristics about yourself that'll make you a good candidate? When we contact your previous employer, what would they say about your work ethic and how they describe your attitude? Are there any limitations on your schedule? Okay. It's $200 to $300 to get a license. Can you afford it? Okay. Takes a few weeks to get it, generally 3 to 5 weeks total. Does that timetable work? Yes or no? Do you have a tablet? Yes or no? And then they get to choose Apple, Android, or I don't have one. And that's good to know for us going into that. Hey, do you have any felonies or pending misdemeanors that would keep us from working together? We need to know that up front. Do you have a valid driver's license and reliable transportation? Okay. And then write out any questions that you might have. So guys, it's and then they can upload their resume right here. If they have it on their website or on their computer, they can just boom, download it right there. So guys, there's a lot of methodology that goes to this, and we want to make a fun incentive. But guys, understand that the purpose of this incentive is to grow our collective businesses, to help you grow your business. The spirit of this is not just to get a ton of people on there just clicking a button and filling out stuff. We want to make sure that we're growing our business as a result of it. So let's just keep that in mind, the spirit of it, and let's go talk to a bunch of people, and let's lead them to what we do. Because at the end of the day, whether they talk to Kyle or talk to me, that doesn't matter. The main reason they talk to us is so that we can solidify them watching it. And the way that we solidify at the end is just by asking them when they're going to watch it by. Let them tell you when, okay? And then just say, hey, the reason why I ask you when you're going to do it is because we're all running our own business around here. So if we work together, I wouldn't be your boss, I'd be your partner. So we don't tell people what to do. We ask them what they're going to do, and then I just pay attention, okay? And if they do what they say they'll do, that's a good sign, okay? Because we do what we say we'll do, and that person would fit in well. If they don't do it, then that's also a sign it's just not a very good one. So guys, saying those words lets people know without saying, hey, watch this or you're out. It's letting them know that they need to follow through. And if they don't, that solidifies that they're really not the type of person that you want to build a business with. So guys, any questions about this incentive or this process or how to get this out to people? This is a great time to ask a question if you have one. Okay, no questions. Perfect. So guys, and again, if you don't like talking in public and you really have a question that you want to ask one-on-one, just call me or Kyle. We'd be delighted to answer that. Guys, I will make this announcement too. A lot of you guys have qualified for the upcoming 101, and you need to get registered, guys, to qualify for the 101. And Kyle, help me out if I screw this up. I don't have the qualifications right in front of me, but I believe it's in the last 6 months. You need to have either sold a total of 25,000 of net premium or greened out twice. If you've done either of those two things, then you have qualified to attend the FHL Leadership Academy 101. And the next one coming up is in August 4 through 6. Guys, they only do about three, sometimes 4 of these per year. So when they do, you want to qualify and you want to be there. The last year and a half, these have been done over Zoom. My understanding, and I only know this because I believe Caitlin put it up on Voxer a day or two ago, was that they're doing this live. They're doing this face-to-face now. So literally there, if you qualify, they'll fly you in. I think people would have the opportunity to Zoom in, possibly. I can't guarantee that, but they are putting you on an airplane and they're paying, corporate's paying for it. They're flying you to Dallas, putting you up in a hotel on their dime, paying you, feeding you for the 3 days and getting you some incredible training to help you grow your business, where you can train to the skills necessary for success and advancement at the career sales professional level for the purposes of building a strong foundation for a career in professional sales and or agency building. Does that all sound pretty accurate?
Yes, sir. That's very accurate.
Perfect. Guys, if you've already attended the 101, the next level is the 201. Okay. This is where you are developing the skills necessary for the field director level position in preparation to advance through the career track and build and train your core team. This training has taken place that very same week. Instead of the 4th through the 6th, it has taken place the 2nd and 3rd. Okay. That will be a smaller group and a high performing group. So if you've attended the 101, guys, you want to make sure that you qualify for the 201. Kyle, I do not have the 201 qualifications in front of me. If you know them, or if anybody does know them off the top of their head, feel free to share.
Not prepared, but I could figure that out and put it on Voxer here in the next few minutes.
Okay, cool. So guys, just again, they're coming up. And even if you haven't yet qualified, there's a good chance that you can. So register and then go qualify. When you register, guys, it's kind of like saying, all right, at the beginning of the quarter, it's like going and getting your passport right now, like this week. When you go and you drop down 60, 80 bucks, whatever it costs to get a passport, you're saying, all right, well, I'm getting this passport because I'm intending to use it because I'm going to qualify for the Mexico trip, and doggone, I'm going to be there. And in the process, I'm probably going to qualify for another trip to Mexico because I'm going to be in the top 140 in sales for the year too. So you're speaking it into existence. Guys, go ahead and qualify. I mean, enrolling in these is part of speaking it into existence. And then you just go and qualify. And I'll tell you this, guys, if you don't qualify, they don't buy you a ticket and you don't go. So there's no, oh, am I on the hook for this or for that? No, they're not going to spend a dime on you if you didn't qualify. But you do have to qualify, or you have to enroll before the end of the deal. So I would encourage you, if you enroll, if you've been to 101, enroll in the 201. If you haven't been to 101, enroll in the 101 and then qualify for it. It's pretty straightforward. So thanks for letting me share that, guys. I'm going to end up, guys, on this note right here. This is something that I wanted to talk to you guys. Zach put a great message up on Voxer yesterday. Hopefully you guys read it. It was an Eagle written by an agent in Paul Leahy's group, and he talked about going on his first ever Train More and going with 5 other guys, and the energy that he got from going on that and being around the people and the adrenaline that he got going, and just how it was great being out of his own personal normal environment. Guys, if you ever want to take advantage, we in our group haven't traveled for Train Mores for a while. It's just kind of been for whatever reason, we just haven't. But if you'd like to, I know Todd Stiles led a Train More back on Founders Week, Presidential Performance Week. I had a group go out. If you want to do that, guys, speak with your manager or your agency owner, and we can find one for you. But one, or maybe we get a big group of us to go do it. But guys, one of the things that talked about in that Eagle was the value of that agent got referrals, followed up on those referrals. And those referrals not only bought, but they sent them to more referrals. And that person wrote an Eagle in a territory he never had been to in his whole life. I believe it was Muncie, Indiana. And this is a little piece, guys, on the right way to double your referrals, guys. So let me just share a couple things with you guys. If you're in a sales or prospecting slump, chances are you're not bad at your job, or you're not working for the wrong company, or that there's some problem with your product or your territory. Okay. On the contrary, my guess is you just don't have enough referrals. Nothing evaporates call reluctance. And guys, call reluctance, that's when we talk about the hardest door for salespeople is the car door. It's just getting out and going. That's called call reluctance. Okay. So if you have it, celebrate, guys. You're not the only one. It's very, very common. Okay. The way you get rid of call reluctance and turn sales momentum around is by gathering a bunch of referrals. Okay. If you don't have them, it's probably because you either have a fear of asking, or because you're making some technical mistakes when you ask. So guys, that's and I'm going to teach you guys, and I hope you jot these things down, but there's 2 quick changes that you can make that will double your referrals. Okay. One is ask for introductions, not referrals. Okay. Guys, the R word scares people sometimes. Okay. We found that using the actual word referral when asking for tends to create some pressure. From the salesperson's point of view, gathering referrals seems like a steep and difficult task because psychologically there's something weird about it. Almost feels like we're asking the customer to put one of their friends in harm's way. And of course, that's not the case, but for some reason, that's psychologically what it likens itself to, especially for those who haven't yet mastered the skill of asking, okay? Or if you haven't started putting hot lists in front of people, lists of folks you want to get in front of that people can pick from. So guys, if you got businesses you want to get into, put them on a list, put them in front of business owners you get into. They know those people and they'll introduce you. But we talked about that. It's called a hot list. Really simple to do, really simple to skip. Lazy people suffer. If you don't do it, you won't get them. So that's something that definitely helped me out in my first year a ton. From your customer's point of view, asking for referrals creates pressure on them because they want to do a good job by giving you someone that might be a legit prospect, but they also don't want to upset one of their friends by passing on their name. So instead of saying, who can you refer me to? Write this down, guys. Try asking, is there anyone you'd be willing to introduce me to? This is more than just semantics, guys. It's a paradigm shift. It's a whole different way of thinking, from thinking about pushing your customers into creating selling situations for you to instead just asking your friends to introduce you to other friends. So focus on making a friend more first and then figure out if they're a prospect later. Okay, so that's one, guys. Ask for introductions, not referrals. Okay. Second thing, guys, is ask by demographics, not by psychographics. And I'm going to explain what I mean here, guys. A lot of times we're asking people who might be interested. Guys, stay away from the I word. Stay away from interested, because nobody knows who's interested. And when you ask people if they might be interested, you're asking them if they want to buy insurance. We're not looking for interested people. We're looking for open-minded people. Okay. We'll make them interested with our demo. but we're just looking for people that are open-minded to checking out what we do. So the other mistake we see a lot of salespeople make is they ask one person, their customer, to speak to the interest of another person. They basically say, who do you know that might be interested in supplemental insurance? Who can you refer me to that might be interested? Oh, you're double whammy, referral and interested. Don't do it. But it's not only near impossible for me to speak to another person's potential interest level, that's a psychographic, in your product. It also creates more pressure on me as your customer. Unless they have specifically mentioned to me, I have no idea if my best friend is interested in buying a cancer policy, okay, or a heart and stroke policy, right? How many people are having these conversations with their friends? Oh gosh, Mabel, what would happen if we couldn't work for 6 months to a year because of a dreaded disease and had to pay all our bills? I mean, that those conversations aren't happening. So when you ask, who do you know who might be interested, they don't know because they haven't had those conversations. So stop doing it if you are. I'm not qualified to speak to what they're interested in buying, so don't bother asking me. However, if you ask me, do you keep contact with any of your friends from college? Then I might be able to tell you some people who are in my same life stage, about the same age, meaning they might be a fit for what service you offer. That's a demographic. Or if you say, do you happen to have any friends who just had a baby? Okay. I personally, approaching 50 years old, don't have a lot of friends that have had a baby. Some of you guys that are in your 20s and 30s probably do. Okay. And those people would be a really good prospect for supplemental insurance because now they've got somebody outside of themselves to live for, to take care of, to provide for. So I can probably drum up a few specific names of people who now have a reason for life insurance or cancer insurance. Okay, guys. Guys, remember, specific is terrific. When you ask for specifics, people will refer you. If you say, hey, who do you know? That's not specific. That's very broad, and you're not going to get many names. I can't tell you if they're interested, and it creates pressure on me when you ask. I can, however, happily and pressure-free introduce you to friends of mine that meet certain specific demographics. I can introduce you to other people. If I'm a business owner that owns a body shop, I can introduce you to other body shop owners that I know. Maybe I work for one or a couple of them. Maybe a couple of them work for me. Maybe I know them from trade associations. Maybe I play golf every Thursday with another body shop owner. And guys, what I'm describing, that's Tom Finn, my first ever guy that let me come in and do a group presentation. He referred me to a whole bunch of other body shop owners. Okay. And I went and saw those other body shops and got into them because of the referral. And I was off and running in my second or third month in the business. So, but I put together a list of all the body shops within a 20-mile radius of Finn Auto Body where Tom worked. So if I asked you, hey, do you know anyone looking to hire a keynote speaker for X fee? You probably don't know a single person because you and your friends don't sit around on the weekend and talking about that. But if I ask you, do you happen to know anyone who's an executive for a company or association that puts on large annual events? You probably have a few names that might come to mind. And then I can simply say, hey, would you be up for introducing them to me? Done. Similarly, our coaches are always looking to be introduced to anyone who is a sales manager of 3 or more commission-based salespeople within a 2-hour radius. Okay, guys, those are demographics. Those are specifics. Okay, the reason they're looking for that is because they do free workshops for sales managers. We don't ask, who do you know who wants to buy coaching? That would be a psychographic. Okay, so figure out what the demographics are for your perfect clients and ask for them. Okay, and ask for them every day over and over and over. Wouldn't your confidence be increased now if you had 50 fresh, hot referrals sitting on your desk? Then why not stop focusing on trying to make sales and start focusing on gathering a bunch of referrals, or shall we say introductions, as fast as possible? Guys, remember, servant selling is based on the promise that you create more sales with less pressure. So rather than put pressure on yourself and on your customer by thinking that everyone you talk to needs to buy, and hopefully a few of them will give you referrals, instead, take the pressure off yourself and your prospects by thinking that everyone you talk to should give you introductions, and hopefully a few of them will buy. So guys, it's a paradigm shift. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you guys took some notes, and hopefully today when you ask, you stop asking who's interested, get the I word out of your vocabulary, and stop asking for referrals and start asking for introductions to people and go ahead and put some lists together, guys, and make it easy for people to send you to other people. Make it real simple, guys. That's what I got for you today. If there's any questions, I'd love to answer any that might be there. If you don't want to answer, ask them in public. And guys, I'll tell you what, if you've got a question, there's a good chance 4 other people have the same question. They're just scared to ask. So feel free to ask if you do. Otherwise, we'll put a wrap on this. Guys, the last thing I will mention this to you is I would encourage you guys, if you don't have a very specific place where you keep referrals, there's a good chance you don't ask for them because the stress of, well, what do I do with them anyway when I get them? Guys, we put together years ago, I've always used what's called a referral notebook. Okay. And it looks like this. This is they're very simple. We made them with paper, and they're tic-tac-toe where you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 referrals on one sheet. They work fine. You can do them by lists. In that notebook, I have memory joggers, like who are your parents, brothers, sisters, in-laws, cousins, daycare, railroad. That's an interesting one. Car maintenance person, who works at a hospital, farmers, lawn care, newspaper, electricians, advertising, bankers. I mean, there's just so many. You ask people, oh, I do know a banker. Oh, I do know a florist. And they'll gladly send you that way. And then guys, when you are selling to people, this is a great little referral form in the back of it where you can find out where the other spouse works and get the information on that and go call on that company because, well, that spouse is now a client. So you can go on there and have them introduce you to their HR department or their owner. And also in that notebook, guys, at the back of it is Rob McLean's referral phone script. If you have someone that's more than a 15-minute drive away, give them a call, tell them what you do, use Rob's script and book an appointment. Okay. Doesn't make sense to drive 30 minutes, 45 minutes across town to see if someone's there and find out they're not there and then waste another 35, 45 minutes driving back to your turf. So use the phone, be smart, but understand too, it's easier to say no to a voice on a phone than it is a human right in front of them. So just be smart with it, guys, and ask your trainer if you're not sure exactly how to do that. But guys, we've got referral notebooks in the Raleigh office. I know they've been distributed throughout all the offices over the years. If you would like one to help you in your efforts, just let us know. I've got 4 of them sitting in the Raleigh office right now that I can get out to key leaders today and get those distributed through the organization. So guys, thanks for being on today. Appreciate your effort being here. Have a rock and roll day. We're off to a great start. Let's have a great middle to the week. Happy hump day.